Hello YouTubers, this is NHRA 1975. Just doing a follow-up video to that short video I had of getting this thing out. Well, it went well for one pass. The other two I had made 3 passes that day, and the one pass was a 699 with a 1. It probably go 680 something, which is pretty damn quick. It's definitely the fastest pass this has ever made. Before that, I think the fastest pass was maybe a 760, 750, so it's like more than half a second faster. So that's great. Of course, there were some hiccups. I went halfway to the track. I forgot the ramps for the trailer, so that sucked. I had to drive all the way back at the ramps, get to the track, and start to try to adjust valves. And one of the spark plug wires came loose. Luckily, my friends, the guys you saw in the Mons videos, were able to reattach it somehow, so that worked out fine. And yeah, I got one pass in. And then an oil leak developed, and I had a hole in the oil pan. Let me just show you here. That area right here, since been welded, was leaking. The trap door, there's a trap door in this thing, hopefully there's enough light, and the little thing that holds it together, somehow that came out. I did find a bolt for the oil pump, one of the housing pumps, in the pan, so I'm guessing that fell out and bashed that little trap door thing up, and that's where the weld went out. I've since reattached that. Another problem though is that there's a lot of moisture, still moisture in the engine. I thought I had that problem licked, but it's come back or it's stayed there, so there's something up with the intake. I've bought a special tool to get the angles right, and I'm probably gonna have to get that intake milled. But I'll just show you for now what all happened here. So yeah, you can tell the engine's out. The deal is the bottom of these bores. There was rust in there. Rust was forming, moisture. Anyways, so I've cleaned all that out using carefully using some Scotch-Brite and a bunch of other stuff, so the moisture's out of there. Now, I hope to hell the cylinders aren't, you know, there's not any damage, excessive damage to the rings. There's probably some. Holding it all holds together, let's just face it. But yeah, I guess as you can tell too, I mean, this thing has nice pieces in it. I mean, it has a nice crankshaft, the rods are each beam, the caps, so it's a bunch of really good stuff. So I'm just gonna put the oil pan back on. I've actually ordered a one-piece oil pan gasket here from Morose, so I'm gonna order it just to make sure there's no leaks whatsoever. The cork one, it worked, but I don't know, I just don't want to put it back on any leaks. Show you the tool here. This will let me know the proper angle of the intake and the proper angle of the valley. Any discrepancies in this will be removed so that the intake fits flat. I'm sure that's where the small water leak went. Also, when I took out the oil was chocolate colored, so that's not a good sign either. So this thing really needs to be figured out. That problem needs to be figured out because it sat for however long with the moisture in the oil, and that needs to go. But I think otherwise I'm not going to bother taking this thing apart. I'm not going to, otherwise it's going to cost a lot, and secondly, I don't think I'll get it out again this year. No. So I'm going to try to put it all back together. I sent the stall converter out to Freak Show Converter, so that's out. So that's shipped down to Abilene, Texas, and they're going to put that stall up to 4,800 instead of it being 4. So I might as well take this opportunity to do upgrades. And I'm also have a water pump. I have an Elderbrock aluminum water pump that I haven't used in years just because it's leaking. I'm sending that down to get redone, and so at least there'll be a little less weight, and that water pump's a little nicer, some kind of thing here. But yeah, I mean, the oil pan, you don't know until you take it off if it's gonna work or not in terms of you know, if the weld will hold or whatever. So anyways, so hopefully that problem's fixed. I can get this thing together, get racing again, because it's a shame, as you can tell, the trailer's there, it's all ready to go. The truck's all ready to go, so just gonna work hard here and try to get it out a few more times this year. Alright guys, I'm just gonna take the intake off this thing and see what's under it, so you guys will see in fast forward motion the work being done, but it's coming off, so let's get at it. Alright guys, intake's off. Let's see if we can figure out what happened here. Or what didn't happen. Hard to tell. Now, is this area soaked? So that one's blocked. I think the problem with these is that area gets blocked. And there's a difference there. It doesn't seal. Let's see on the other side. See, I think that's the problem, is these intake gaskets, it hits here and weeps somehow. I don't know. Let me just vacuum this up before I look in the valley pan, but okay. Alright guys, got the intake off, obviously. Got the BHJ Products angle finder. And basically, number one thing he says, if you can see daylight, then you know that the intake needs to be milled. So this side, I think I got like a 15 thou feeler in. This side's not as bad. But yeah, there definitely is a discrepancy there. And my theory is with these ports being blocked here, there's really not much of a forgiveness on the regular cylinder head. Regular big block Chevy cylinder head, that's just an open water. So you're kind of asking a gasket to do a lot. If there's any kind of small discrepancy in the intake manifold, I think, for that to seal. I think getting some of that milled off would help a lot. But yeah, you don't have much of a margin for error, I think. The alternative I was thinking about is you could also drill and tap some holes here and just run something that goes back and forth. But then I'm also thinking maybe it might leak anyways when it's sitting. I don't know. But I think I do think that that's the reason why it leaks, is the angle. The angle's a bit off, and you have the added sort of situation of trying to block water here, and it just weeps. Anyways, that's sort of my take on why big block Chevy intake manifolds maybe leak more than they should in that specific area when you're using a intake manifold that's blocked here. So anyways, let me know what you think, and I'm gonna keep going on here. Thanks.